Greetings, YouTube. I'm Vaughn Maurice Gaines II. I grant wisdom and harmony to you in Shamhara. I come to you today to share my astral projection experience, tell you about my out-of-body experience in the Gregorian year 2008 on March 20th, the spring equinox. It was my birthday. Today's November 11th of 2018. So let me get into it. Like I said, it was my birthday. I turned 17. So I was 17, just turned 17 that day. I was with my brother John. Brother John had his driver's license at the time. So he took, we took my father's Chevrolet Avalanche so that we could go get chicken wings at the time, which I don't eat chicken wings anymore. But at the time I did. We wanted to go get chicken wings at this spot in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was one of my favorite spots to go. So that's what our plan was. That's where we went. That was the plan, at least. So the plan was for us to go to this chicken wing spot. I won't name the name of the place. I don't really support that type of thing. So we were headed north to Pittsburgh on Route 51, and we were enjoying ourselves. My mother bought me the new Snoop Dogg album at the time, and the newest Ziggy Marley album at the time. So those are the two albums that we alternated between on the ride up. It was a pretty cold night, but it wasn't freezing or anything like that. It was actually pretty warm. It was warm enough to have the windows down, but it was brisk. But it wasn't cold outside that night. And on our way there, my brother John, he knows that I like nature. I would go into the woods at the time, all the time. I haven't in a while. Probably gonna start doing it again. I used to go to the woods all the time, and I would just spend my time in nature, man. And it was nighttime, kind of like it is right now, but the sky was a lot more clear. You could see a few stars out, but he noticed it, and he was like, look, brother. He said, check out the sky, because he knows I like everything natural. And so I opened up the sunroof, or the moonroof, and I was in such amazement at how beautiful the sky was. sky was so beautiful. I mean, you could see every star out that night. And so I'm looking at these stars, and I'm realizing, I've been doing my research on the brain and things like that, for a long time, even before my 17th birthday, and to realize that, that everything is us. We are everything. Everything is inside of us. Kind of blew my mind to be staring at these stars that physically, the way that we perceive them, are light years away. Light years. So what that meant to me was that I was looking at a past image, but I'm looking at it right now. And the crazy part is that I am that right now. I was Rastafarian at the time. I studied everything Rastafarian, so the phrase "I and I" really just resonated with me, knowing that we are everything. I and I. That there is no separate connection. One can't separate the singer from the song. They can't separate the dance from the dancer. They can't separate man from God. Connected. There is no separation. So I'm looking at this with amazement. It's just like, wow, this is incredible. This is amazing. And I'm looking at it in such awe. And this feeling flushed over me of gratitude and thankfulness that I was that. I was so grateful that I'm that type of creation. To be able to stare at a past image, something that's light years away, but I am that. And I was just so grateful and thankful of the power of what we really are. And in that moment, I shot out of my body. Okay, now I typically don't tell the story, simply because I felt like people didn't understand it, or maybe wouldn't even believe it. So I chose not to even speak about it, because I didn't feel like, wasting my breath, if you will. But for me to not share these experiences with those of you who may be curious, or maybe even have had similar experiences, you need to know that you're not crazy. You need to know that these things are real. And you need to know that there's more to life than what you think that there is, if you don't know. So, I shot out of my body. So, this is where it gets a little tough to explain, because human language is very difficult to explain all of what I perceived at this moment in time. So there were like two separate images superimposed on top of each other. So I was having two forms of perception at one time, if you could imagine that. The first one was, we know that we live in a 3D world, but we see everything in two dimensions. If you're staring at the screen right now, it's a two-dimensional flat surface, but you know that you're staring at something that's in a 3D world. So we see in 2D. So the first field of perception was a two-dimensional plane. And then the second one, which was superimposed on top of it, was, if you could imagine a basketball or any sphere, with eyes covering the entire surface of the sphere. And each eye is your perception. You can see from every angle. So, up, down, left, right, and everywhere in between on that sphere. Okay? So this was the second field of perception superimposed on top. Now this sphere was expanding, just expanding. okay, and it kept growing, and my field of perception was in every direction. Meanwhile, the 2D perception of me was seeing a silver cord from my navel point, and I could see the avalanche get smaller and smaller while this cord just seemed to infinitely grow beneath me. Okay, so I'm seeing the vehicle get smaller and smaller until I can't see it anymore. I see the clouds. Then I see the plane of Earth just get smaller and smaller until I can't see that anymore. And meanwhile, this spherical perception continued to grow as well, to where I could see the stars and the sun get smaller and smaller. Everything was just getting smaller and smaller, and I'm out in this black world. And so once everything gets so small that the earth is smaller than a grain of dust, a grain of sand, I don't see these things anymore. You know, I'm just this large sphere. I then notice that I'm not alone. I feel as if what you would call God was there with me. And there's no actually, to say I felt that God was with me is an understatement. When God's presence is there, there's no mistaking this feeling. Okay, so I was one with him, and he was a sphere, and I was a sphere, a little bit smaller. It's like he was the membrane, like a skin around me, and we were just out there alone in the universe. And he shifted my attention to the fact that my physical body was so small that I couldn't even see it anymore. So I can't even see my physical body anymore. And like I said, once again, don't take this too literal with the language, because there was no human language in the communication. It was kind of just an instilled knowledge. Like you ultimately, it's evident. There's no need for explanation. There's no need for deciphering. It's clearly evident, and it's just instilled into you. He showed me how small I was, to where I couldn't even see myself anymore. And he said, "Look how small you are. Look how insignificant you are physically. You're nothing at all. You're nothing physically. You're so insignificant and small. But look at you. Look how grand you are. Look how magnificent you are. You're everything. There's nothing smaller than you. I mean, there's nothing bigger than you. Nothing. You're everything." And this moment was amazing. I mean, to realize that you are everything, and to realize that your body is insignificant, but you are a power and a force much greater than you ever fathomed in your life. You get ideas in your mind, but not like this. I mean, this is really taking the cake. So he's saying, you're nothing physically, and the things that you and the others of this realm worry about are so insignificant and petty and silly. It's funny. It's like, actually, it's a reason to laugh at the amount of stress that we cause ourselves and the problems that we create for ourselves on a day-to-day basis. When in all actuality, the power that we possess is staggering. It's staggering. And, he's saying, you're just insignificant physically, You are the universe. And don't forget it. Don't forget the power that you possess. And use it. Use this power. So basically after that, I mean, that's a lot to take in at the time. You know, it felt like I was there for 15 minutes just in astonishment of everything that was going on. So then once I clearly got the message, I shot back into my body, like just back in, like instantly. And when I came back to, I'm staring at the sky, and I look at Brother John, and I say, how long was I staring at the sky? He looked at me like I was joking or something. So I don't know, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. And, but to me, time felt as if it was 10, 15 minutes that I was gone. And I'm looking at him like, is he lying to me? You know? But I knew he wouldn't make that up. I could tell by the look on his face. So at that moment, I knew that, you know, it was a confirmation. Like, yes, that really happened. So I stood out of the sunroof, and I stared at the stars. We're on the highway, and I don't care who's looking. I'm screaming, Ja, 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 Ja. I'm so happy, and I feel so much love right here, and I feel empowered with knowing that I'm everything. You can't defeat me at this point. This is how amazing I felt. You can't defeat me. I am everything. I am you. You are me. I and I. I and I. So that's what happened to me with my out-of-body experience. And what's funny is, once I got back from out of the sunroof, and like I said earlier, it wasn't that cold out. It was brisk, but it wasn't chilly. Tonight is cold. It was actually pretty warm out, and I had goosebumps all over my body, like I was freezing, and my teeth were actually chattering when I came back. And yeah, I mean, my teeth were chattering. I was freezing cold. And I mean, it's like, it was crazy. I mean, it's cold outside. It's very cold outside right now. My teeth aren't chattering or anything like that. But after that moment, my body was just so chilled and ice cold. Like life force left my body. That's the only interpretation that I came to understand from that. But after that, you know, in all my meditations and dealings, I never questioned if there's more to life than what we see with the five senses. I knew ultimately that, you know, we're souls, and that you know, we are everything. It was such an evident experience that I couldn't deny it, and I would never tell someone, you know, maybe not, just to make them feel good, you know, or to seem neutral on the subject, because when you know, you know. Yeah, so what I suggest is to meditate focus on the breath. The breath is all, just as I said, you are all. Focus on the breath. Be silent. And any thoughts that you have, try not to pay attention to them. Let them just go. And focus on that and do it every day. And what will happen is, over time, you'll notice small changes during the meditation and different experiences that you'll begin to have. No, I really took the meditation serious after the out-of-body experience. So, things really started to shift for me in my day-to-day life. And be careful the things that you speak into existence. Your words have more power than you know. Be careful what you ask for, because you will get it. Whether it's good or bad, you'll get it. I mean, that's my advice for right now. But astral projection is real. That wasn't my only astral projection, but that was my first one. It was one that I could never forget. It was the most powerful one that I've had, I would say, as far as a vision goes. I've had plenty of other visions, but that was very powerful, and it was given to me so that I could tell people. And I put it off for, it's 2018, 10 years to tell the masses. I don't know how many people of you will actually see this, but it is my duty to let you guys know that these things are real. That you are not simply a body on this planet. You're using this body right now, absolutely, but you're not just a body. And you need to become aware of yourself, of what you are, what you truly are. It's not an easy task. It'll take a long time, and don't ever feel like you're done learning something. You need to keep going, keep learning about yourself and the world around you, and certain phenomena, and natural science, and just the way that we interact with each other and why things happen. Ask why. We're so used to just accepting what's given to us, but we need to start questioning things around us, and it'll lead you deeper down the rabbit hole. So, as I said earlier, I do grant you knowledge, I do grant you wisdom, and harmony, and Shamhara. I hope to see you soon. I hope that you reach out to me. If you have had a similar experience, let me know. Post comments in the bottom and tell me about your experience. What did you see? What kind of information were you given? Was there information that you were instructed to pass along to the rest of us? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like the video, hit like. I bestow blessings on you, and I love you.